Mendeecees' Harris being taken away in handcuffs wasn't the scene anyone expected. But that's exactly what had fans everywhere stunned and asking questions. Reports started flooding social media claiming that during what was supposed to be a peaceful retreat, things spiraled completely out of control. It all began with a heated argument between Yandy and Spice voices were raised. Insults were thrown and tensions were already high. But nobody could have predicted what would happen next. In the middle of all that chaos, Erica Mena stepped in. And what started as words quickly turned into accusations that shook everybody watching. According to sources and videos making the rounds, Erica accused Mendeecees of putting his hands on her. She was seen yelling, "Don't touch me, I'll call the police right now." While Yandy stood nearby, looking completely shocked and helpless. The scene unfolded so fast, police were called to the location, and before anyone could process what was happening, Mendeecees was reportedly detained on the spot. Fans couldn't believe, was this just reality TV going too far? Or did something real actually happen? In today's video, we're breaking down everything that's come out about that night. From the first argument to the moment the police arrived. Grab your seat, because this one's serious. Nobody really expected things to go left the way they did. What was supposed to be a peaceful retreat with cast members reconnecting and talking through their issues slowly turned into something else entirely. It all started so simple. Everyone sitting around the table, laid back vibes a little. Light teasing, people sipping drinks, laughing in between. There was already a tension in the air. It wasn't loud at first, it was quiet, sitting just under the surface. Until Bambi and Spice's conversation shifted into full-blown conflict. At first, they were joking about Jamaican slang. Bambi asked what a certain phrase meant. Spice explained it was all laughs. But the second Spice made it sound like it was about someone's mother. Bambi took it personally. She said, real calm, but firm, if somebody disrespects my mom, it's up. Spice didn't back down either. She said, keep it up then, I'm ready. That's when things really kicked off. Words got louder, tone changed. The energy around the table flipped. Yandy was sitting on the other side, quietly trying to keep her cool, whispering to Erica. For the cameras. But Erica wasn't smiling. She had that look on her face like something else was going on inside her, right? When Bambi snapped back, talking about property, houses, and body surgeries, Erica let out a little laugh. Not loud, not obvious, just enough that you could feel she wasn't really focused on Bambi and Spice. Her mind was elsewhere. And then, just as things seemed like they couldn't get any more intense, Bambi hit Spice with that line, "You ain't got no house, all you got is your botched body." Spice clapped right back, "At least I'm proud of my scars." The whole room was hot now. Producers in the back kept the cameras rolling. Yandy was stepping in to stop it. Not yet. After a while, the two women moved apart, letting things cool down. People drifted outside for air. It felt like things were winding down. That's when Mendeecees, standing near the corner, arms folded, watching everything quietly, caught Bazaar. Sipping a drink alone. Erica, not loud. She said, now the perfect shows up. Yandy was next. Don't turned to Erica. Erica didn't even hesitate. She said, you two only show up when the cameras are rolling. In real life, y'all just as messy as everybody else. You could see Mendeecees try to keep his cool. His jaw clenched a little, and his voice stayed level. Not tonight, he said. But she wasn't done. She leaned in just a little closer and said, you act like you some stand-up dude. Handle your own house before you talk about anybody else's. That's when things took a sharp step forward. came up, not like that, but sizing, moving in a way that looked bigger than it was. And that's when Erica reacted. She jumped back, tried something, yelling out, "Don't even try me. I will call the police right now." Loud enough for everyone around to hear. Yandy was in between them in seconds, grabbing Mendeecees by the arm, pulling him back, her voice shaking a little. "Please don't do this. Everybody is watching." People already had their phones up. There were cameras everywhere. Clips hit Instagram within minutes. People were posting things like, "Did Mendeecees really just lose it? Is Erica playing victim or not?" Producers tried to settle everybody down. Organizers were already on the phone with security. Erica didn't let up. She stood there, eyes flashing, saying, "I'm filing a complaint. Come at me." And in the background, you could hear sirens flashing in the distance. The entire retreat space went dead quiet. Police cars pulled up, lights bouncing off the walls, cutting through all that energy like no relaxing island vibes. Just raw, cold tension. Officers stepped out, taking control. One went straight to Erica, asking her calmly, "What happened here?" She repeated her story, voice shaky but strong. "He came at me. I was just defending myself." Another officer pulled Mendeecees to the side, speaking low so not everybody could hear. "Sir, what happened?" The officer asked. Mendeecees tried to explain, "I didn't touch her, was just trying to make a point." But people nearby had their phones out, showing police the footage. And in that footage, even though it didn't show him actually putting hands on Erica, the way he stepped up and pointed looked aggressive. It looked bad. Enough for the police to decide they had to detain him. Not necessarily an arrest, not yet, but enough to take him in and sort it out away from all the cameras and yelling. Yandy. Why single quotes his face was a whole other story. She wasn't screaming, she wasn't crying loud, but her eyes, everybody saw it. She looked broken, completely helpless. As police got ready to take Mendeecees toward the car, she stepped up to one of them. Voice soft but desperate. "Please, can I say something to him before you take him?" The officer nodded, giving her a minute. Erica was still surrounded by people, some asking if she was okay, some whispering behind her back. She kept repeating, "I've had enough. I'm not letting this slide." But all Yandy could focus on was Mendeecees. She walked up to him, took his hand, her voice low, almost shaking. "You promised me you wouldn't let something like this happen again." Mendeecees looked down at her. No words, just a kind of empty stare. He didn't have anything to say then. The police moved to load him into the car. No handcuffs yet, just that quiet escort. But the energy in the air was different now. Everyone stopped talking. It was like the whole place held its breath. All that noise, all that tension disappeared into silence. And in the middle of all that, Yandy stood there, arms wrapped around herself, just watching it happen. Watching her whole world feel like it was falling apart in real time. And there wasn't a single thing she could do to stop it. The police car doors shut with a quiet thud. But for Yandy, it felt like the loudest sound in the world. She just stood there, staring at the back window where Mendeecees was sitting, his face half hidden in shadows. There were no words left to say. People around her were whispering, recording, trying to catch her reaction. But Yandy wasn't paying attention to it. Her mind wasn't on the cameras. It was on her husband, now sitting in a police car because of a moment that
error होने न सारी वीडियो लेकिन सारे मेजर एरर फोन होंदे लोगो आ गया सारी वीडियो कदे ही कॉपीराइट नहीं है कदे हिट में बजा दे जरन ई बनाई गफूर बनाई ते तुसा काई कॉपीराइट कदे ए जेरे आंदे रहन
He came at me. Don't touch me.
हाँ वो
Her
6
voice
सेकंड का है, 6
but
7
she
सेकंड
wasn't
का है
sure if
ये
she was
उस्ताद
Some people believed her. Others didn't. But in that moment, Erica didn't care what anybody else thought. She was locked in her version of events, and that's all that mattered to her. The retreat was basically shut down. Organizers told everyone to head back to their rooms, but nobody really moved. People stayed close, sitting in small groups, talking in hushed tones. Some were saying Mendeecees never laid a hand on her. Others said they saw him get way too close. Nobody had the full truth. All they had were shaky phone videos and half heard. Conversations.yandy finally turned away from the police car. Her best friend Keisha was standing nearby and tried to pull her into a hug, but Yandy just shook her head. I can't, she whispered. Her voice was barely there, like it hurt to speak. I told him not to get hurt. Kept repeating that like it was the only thing holding her together. Back at her room, Yandy sat down on the edge of the bed, still in her dress, makeup smeared from tears. Her phone was blowing up with messages. Group chats, emails, fans. Everyone had seen the clip already. She didn't even want to look at her own notifications. She felt sick just thinking about it. Her hands were shaking as she said her phone face down on the nightstand. There was no calming down. A few doors down, Erica was sitting on the balcony, phone in hand, scrolling through her own social media. She saw the same clips. She saw people arguing in the comments, saying she was lying, saying she was telling the truth. Some of the messages were nasty. Some were supportive. Her eyes were red, but she wasn't crying. She just looked tired. Like the whole thing had drained every bit of energy she had left. One of the producers came up to her, voice low and careful. Erica, the police are going to want an official statement tomorrow. You sure you want to go through? With that, Erica didn't even hesitate. Yeah, I'm sure. Not letting this go. Not this time. Her tone was final. She wasn't backing down. Not after everything that had already gone down on camera. By the next morning, things only got worse. Blogs picked up the story fast. Headline after headline popping up. Mendeecees Harris detained after heated altercation. Yandy Smith caught in emotional moment as husband faces arrest. Reality star Erica Mena claimed she was attacked. Fans were Some were posting slow-motion clips, trying to prove Mendeecees didn't do anything. Others were tagging Erica, calling her out, saying she set him up. It was like the whole internet turned into a courtroom overnight. Yandy finally picked up her phone. Started scrolling messages before opening up her notes app. For a moment, she just stared at the blank screen. Then she started typing. Not for the blogs, not for the cameras. It's just her own thoughts. She wrote, how do you stay calm when everything feels like it's crashing down around you? It wasn't a post. It wasn't for anybody else. Just her way of breathing through the chaos. A little later, her phone rang. It was Mendeecees, lawyer. The voice on the other end was calm, but the news wasn't great. They're holding him overnight, the lawyer said. Just until they sort through everything, Yandy closed her eyes, pressing her hand to her forehead. Did they say what the charge is, she asked. The lawyer said, right now, it's just a holding situation. Nothing formal. But Erica's filing her report today, so things could change. Yandy's stomach dropped. She felt like she couldn't even stand up. Word traveled fast. By the time Yandy stepped outside the door, sunglasses on to hide her scars, people already watching her. Crew members, other cast members, everyone too polite to ask her anything directly, but she could feel their eyes following her every step. She kept her head down and made her way to the front desk where one of the producers was waiting. Offered her coffee. She didn't want anything. All she wanted was to know that Mendeecees was coming home. Across the resort, Erica was meeting with a local officer to give her official statement. Cameras didn't film that part. They kept it private. but pictures about what she was saying spread fast. Someone told a blog she claimed Mendeecees
आज तेरी पर्सनल चीजें
only
हैं
things blow up. Hashtag started trending. Hashtag justice for Erica. Fans were choosing sides like it was a sport. Later that afternoon, Yandy finally broke her silence. She didn't go live, didn't post a statement, just put a black screen Instagram story with a single line of text. Praying for clarity in the middle of confusion. That was it. No names, no details. But everybody knew what it meant. While all this was happening, Mendeecees was still sitting in the living room. No phone, no outside contact, just him and his own thoughts. He kept asking the officers, "Can I talk to my wife?" But the answer was always the same, "Not yet." He wasn't angry, not yelling, just quiet. Waiting. Fans couldn't stop talking about it. Some said it was bound to happen. Others said the whole thing was staged. There's no way Yandy didn't know this was coming. One fan posted. Another replied, "Nah, you could see it in her face. She wasn't acting." Meanwhile, production on the retreat completely shut down. Producers sent everybody home early, saying things had gotten too out of hand. The group that was supposed to bring people together had left, everything even more broken than before. And as the sun started to set that night, Yandy sat alone on the same balcony where she and Mendeecees shared a quiet just the day before. Now all she had was silence and the sound of her own heart breaking in the background. By the time the second night fell, everything felt different. It wasn't just about Mendeecees anymore. The entire city was watching now. While people were posting about the incident, they were digging up old clips, old interviews, anything that could tie into what happened between Erica and Mendeecees. Resurfaced. People started asking if there had ever been tension between them before, things the cameras missed, things nobody talked about until now. It wasn't just a moment anymore. It was a full-blown story. Yandy, why barely slept that night. She spent most of it pacing her room, phone in hand, refreshing her feed. Not even sure why. She wasn't posting, wasn't replying to texts, just scrolling, watching the way public opinion kept shifting back and forth. Some fans were writing long posts defending Mendeecees, saying he'd grown past his old ways. Others weren't so forgiving. There were people saying things like, "Once a hothead, always a hothead." That one stuck. In Yandy's head all night. By the next morning, she finally got a call from Mendeecees' lawyer again. This time the news was slightly better. They're going to release him today, the lawyer said. But there will still be an investigation. Erica's statement made things messy. Yandy let out a breath she didn't even realize she was holding. When? She asked. Within a few hours, the lawyer answered. "I'll text you as soon as it's official." Still, even with that little bit of relief, there was no real peace. When Yandy stepped outside her room again, the energy was cold. It wasn't the kind of cold you feel in weather. It was the kind of cold that lives in people's eyes when they've seen too much and don't know what to say anymore. She made her way to the resort's front entrance, sunglasses on again, hood pulled low. Few producers tried to catch her. Before she left, asking if she wanted to give a statement. She shook her head, didn't say a word. Meanwhile, Erica wasn't slowing down. She was already doing private interviews, not officially for TV yet, but little off-camera sit-downs with blog reporters. People would pay to hear her side first. In one clip that leaked early, Erica's voice would say, "This isn't about just me. It's about how women get treated when they stand up for themselves. When somebody crosses a line and you say something, people try to turn it on you." That line got picked up everywhere. Instagram pages, gossip sites. Even some celebrity blogs reposted it with captions like, "Erica speaks her truth." But fans weren't buying all of it. There were long threads breaking down Erica's past drama, calling out moments when she'd exaggerated things before. People pulled receipts, old show clips, quotes, even old tweets. Still, there were others standing up for her, saying maybe. This time was different. Around noon, Mendeecees was officially released. No cuffs, no full arrest record yet, but paperwork had been filed. Yandy met him outside the holding facility, her car waiting at the curb. When he stepped out, hoodie up, face tired and drawn, she was already standing there. She didn't say anything at first. Neither of them did. Hey? They just stood face to face, like both were trying to figure out what to say after everything that had happened. Finally, Yandy spoke first. Her voice wasn't angry. It wasn't soft either. Just real. What happened? She asked straight up. Mendeecees let out a slow breath. She pushed me, he said, his voice low. She said some things I couldn't let slide. I didn't touch her though, I swear. Yandy studied his face like she was searching for some kind of crack in his words, but she didn't find one. All she did was nod slowly, then opened the car door for him to get in. The ride back to the house they were staying at was completely silent. No music, no conversation, just the sound of the tires on the road and two men sitting next to each other, feeling like strangers. Yandy's mind was racing. Part of her wanted to believe everything he said. Part of her couldn't shake the tight image of him stepping toward Erica, hand raised, even if it wasn't to hit her. It didn't matter. The world had already made up its mind. When they finally got inside, doors closed, curtains drawn. The internet kept spinning. Now, there were clips surfacing from other cast members. One video showed Spice talking in the background right after everything went down, saying, I don't think Mendeecees meant it like that, but Erica. She knows how to turn anything into a moment. That added a whole new layer to things. Fans started saying maybe the whole thing had been planned, staged, maybe not by Mendeecees or Yandy, but by Erica herself. While all that noise kept growing outside, inside the house, Mendeecees sat at the kitchen table, hands clasped together, head down. Yandy stood near the window, arms crossed. Finally, after what felt like forever, she broke the silence. Do you even understand how bad this looks? She asked. Voice quiet but sharp. Mendeecees didn't look up. He just said, yeah. He just said, yeah. Yandy kept going, not yelling, just steady. Like, we got kids now. I can't have my name in some headline like this. Not again. Mendeecees finally looked at her, eyes tired. You think I don't know that? He asked. You think I wanted this? For a second, it looked like he might actually cry. But he didn't. He just let out a slow breath and dropped his gaze again. Outside the house, paparazzi had started gathering. Somehow, word had leaked about where they were staying. Flashes went off through the windows. Mendeecees glanced toward the noise, but didn't get up. Yandy closed the blinds tighter. You can't stay here, she said under her breath. Not like this. It wasn't just about leaving the house. It felt bigger than that. It's like maybe they couldn't go back to how things were before at all. There was too much damage already done. Later that night, Yandy sat alone on the back porch, scrolling through her phone again. She saw everything. The blogs, the comments. Even her own fan pages were split. Some were defending her, some saying she should leave Mendeecees for good this time. She couldn't even tell who was really on her side anymore. All just felt like noise. Then her phone buzzed with a message from an unknown number. When she opened it, it was a video. No caption. Just a clip of Erica from the night of the incident, standing off to the side, whispering to one of the producers. Yandy tapped the volume button and leaned in, listening close. Erica was saying, make sure they get my good side when he walks away. I want the angle right. Her voice was clear, calculated, and right then, Yandy felt her stomach drop all over again. Yandy sat there for a long time after watching that clip, her phone resting heavy in her hand like it weighed 100 pounds. She played it back again just to make sure she wasn't hearing things. But there it was, clear as day. Erica's voice, calm and steady. talking about her camera angle like everything that had happened was just another scene in some scripted show. It wasn't about fear. It wasn't about feeling threatened. It was about the look, the perception, the story. That realization hit Yandy harder than anything else. Her first instinct was to get up and show Mendeecees. He needed to see it. He needed to know. But for some reason, she just sat there frozen, staring out at the dark sky. Part of her couldn't believe it. Part of her wasn't even surprised. It wasn't the first time someone had played dirty in this business, but this time felt different because it was personal. This wasn't just TV. This was her family, her real life. Finally, after sitting in silence so long, the night air started to feel cold. She stood up and walked back inside. Mendeecees was still in the kitchen. Same spot, same posture, like he hadn't moved in hours. She walked over slowly, found it and set it down on the table in front of him. He looked up at her, eyes tired but curious. "What's that?" he asked, voice low. "Just watch," Yandy said quietly. He picked up the phone, pressed play, and for a moment there was only the sound of Erica's voice filling the kitchen. As soon as the words hit him, his face changed. Not anger exactly, more like something deep inside him cracking open. He listened all the way through, then set the phone back down carefully. Like it might break if he moved too fast? "You believe?" "Me now," Mendeecees asked, his voice barely above a whisper. Yandy didn't answer right away, just sat down across from him, resting her elbows on the table, her head in her hands. Finally, she spoke, voice rough around the edges. "I don't know what to believe anymore," she admitted, "but I know this. She set this up. Maybe not the whole thing, but enough of it." They sat there together in silence for a long time. No cameras. No producers, no scripts, just the people trying to figure out what the next move should be. Meanwhile, outside their bubble, the internet kept spinning faster and faster. That leaked clip made its way online within hours. Somebody sent it to a gossip page, and from there, it was everywhere. Headlines flipped. People weren't just talking about Mendeecees being detained. They were asking, the whole thing had been set up from the start. Twitter threads broke down frame-by-frame analysis of the video. People zooming in on Erica's face, the body language, everything. Some fans apologized in the comments, saying they had judged too soon. Others doubled down, saying it didn't matter what Erica said off camera. What mattered was how it looked when Mendeecees stepped toward her. Nobody could agree. It was like watching a war play out through phone screens. But for Yandy, none of that mattered as much as figuring out what she was going to do next. She knew once she left that house, once she stepped back into public, everything was going to hit harder. Press, waiting outside, cameras in her face, questions she didn't want to answer. The next morning, just after sunrise, she finally made her decision. She woke up, got dressed, pulled her hair back into a low bun, simple and clean. No glam, no distractions, just her as she was. Mendeecees was still sleeping on the couch. She didn't wake him. She just grabbed her phone, slid it into her pocket, and stepped outside. Sure enough, the moment she opened the front door, there were reporters waiting. Flashes, microphones pointed in her direction. People calling her name, Yandy. Any statement about what happened? Yandy, are you and Mendeecees okay? Did Erica really set this up? She didn't answer right away. She walked slowly down the steps, her pace calm, her face serious. Then, when she reached the bottom, she stopped, turned to face the cameras, and spoke. "Listen," she said, her voice steady but clear. "This has been one of the hardest weeks of my life. Not just because of what happened on camera, but because what happened when the camera stopped rolling. Everybody has got their own version of the truth. All I can say is this. I saw things I can't unsee. I heard things I can't unhear." The reporters leaned in closer, sensing she wasn't reading from some media script. This was real. Me and Mendeecees. We've been through too much to let something like this break us. And as for Erica, she paused, letting the name hang in the air for a second before continuing. I just hope she finds whatever peace she's looking for, because clearly it wasn't here. After that, she didn't take any more questions. She turned and walked straight to the car waiting for her. Closing the door behind her and closing the door behind her, inside the car, she finally let herself breathe again. Her hands were shaking a little, but it wasn't fear anymore. It was just adrenaline, nerves calming down after too much time on edge. Back at the house, Mendeecees eventually woke up and saw everything unfold on his phone. Clips of Yandy's statement playing everywhere. He smiled a little, the first real smile in days. He texted her, "You did no emojis, no extra words." Just that later that same day, Erica posted something too. A long caption. Under a picture of her standing alone by the water. No makeup, no glam, just her and the ocean behind her. Sometimes the truth isn't black and white. Sometimes it's just gray. I said what I said. Stand on it. Stand on it. Comments under her post are mixed. Some showing support, others saying she was exposed. The damage was already done on both sides by the end of the day. She wouldn't be airing. The full footage from the incident, just selected parts, edited carefully. Too much had happened. Too many wrong emotions, too many legal issues involved. Fans were left piecing things together through leaks and rumors. As for Yandy and Mendeecees, they stayed low for a while. No interviews, no social media lives, just quiet time with family. Eventually, they posted a simple picture together, just the two of them holding hands. No caption. Fans filled the comments with heart emojis, and messages like, "Glad y'all made it through." Some still weren't convinced. Some never would be. But for Yandy, that didn't matter anymore. What mattered was knowing she'd seen the truth for herself. Handle things her way, and come out on the other side still standing. And somewhere out there, Erica was probably still telling her version too. But that was a whole other story. Before we wrap this up, one thing is clear, no matter whose side you're on. This situation has left everybody talking. From Mendeecees being taken in by chaos, to Erica's emotional claims, to Yandy standing there looking completely helpless as it all unfolded. Fans are still divided. Some people believe Mendeecees really lost control, while others say Erica said the whole thing for attention. And then there's Yandy, caught in the middle, trying to hold everything together while the cameras rolled and the world watched. Here's what we really want to know. What do you think? Do you think Mendeecees actually crossed the line? Or was this just another reality TV moment blown out of proportion? Was Erica truly scared? Or was she playing a bigger game behind the scenes? And what about Yandy? Should she have stepped in sooner? Or was there nothing she could have done to stop what was already in motion? Drop your thoughts down in the comments right now. We want to hear from you. Were you Team Mendeecees, Team Erica, or just Team Yandy trying to survive all this madness? Don't hold back. Let us know exactly how you feel. And while you're here, make sure to hit that like button if you stayed locked in from beginning to end. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel too, so you never miss another deep dive into all the drama, all the stories, and all the moments that have everybody talking. This is Bazaar, where we bring you the real breakdown every single time. We'll catch you in the next one.
Hey, hold on. So it's about your mama? Yeah. Because I was telling Bam that it's not about you. Like, it's
Mendeecees Harris being taken away in handcuffs wasn't the scene anyone expected. But that's exactly what had fans everywhere stunned and asking questions. Fans started flooding social media claiming that during what was supposed to be a peaceful retreat, things spiraled completely out of control. It all began with a heated argument between Yandy and raised. Insults were thrown and tensions were elevated, but nobody could have predicted what would happen next. In the middle of all that chaos, Erica Mena stepped in. And what started as words quickly turned into accusations that shook everybody watching. According to sources and videos making the rounds, Erica accused Mendeecees of putting his hands on her. She was seen yelling, "Don't touch me, I'll call the police right now." While Yandy stood nearby, looking completely shocked and helpless. The scene unfolded so fast, police were called to the location, and before anyone could process what was happening, Mendeecees was reportedly detained on the spot. Fans couldn't believe it. Was this just reality TV going too far? Or did something real actually happen? In today's video, we're breaking down everything that's come out about that night. From the first argument to the moment the police arrived. Grab your seat, because this one's serious. Nobody really expected things to go left the way they did. What was supposed to be a peaceful retreat with cast members reconnecting and talking through their issues slowly turned into something else entirely. It all started so simple. Everyone sitting around the table, laid back vibes a little. Light teasing, people sipping drinks, laughing in between. But underneath all of that, there was already a tension in the air. It wasn't loud at first, it was quiet, sitting just under the surface. Until Bambi and Spice's conversation shifted into full-blown conflict. At first, they were joking about Jamaican slang. Bambi asked what a certain phrase meant. Spice explained it was all laughs. But the second Spice made it sound like it was about someone's mother. Bambi took it personally. She said, real calm but firm, "If somebody disrespects my mom, it's up." Spice didn't back down either. She said, "Keep it up then, I'm ready." That's when things really kicked off. Words got louder, tone changed, the energy around the table flipped. Yandy was sitting on the other side, quietly trying to keep her cool, whispering to Erica. They're just doing it for the cameras, but Erica wasn't smiling. She had that look on her face like something else was going on inside her, right? When Bambi snapped back, talking about property, houses, and body surgeries, Erica let out a little laugh. Not loud, not obvious, just enough that you could feel she wasn't really focused on Bambi and Spice. Her mind was elsewhere. And then, just as things seemed like they couldn't get any more intense, Bambi hit Spice with that line. "You ain't got no house, all you got is your botched body." Spice clapped right back. "At least I'm proud of my scars." The whole room was hot now. Producers in the back kept the cameras rolling. Nobody was stepping in to stop it. Not yet. After a while, the two women moved apart, letting things cool down. People drifted outside the air. Felt like things were winding down. That's when Mendeecees, standing in the corner, arms folded, watching everything quietly, caught Erica's eye. She wasn't far, sipping her drink alone. Erica walked right up to him. Not loud, just real calm. She said, "Oh, now the perfect couple shows up." Yandy was next to him, pulling his arm gently. "Don't even engage," she said low. But Mendeecees turned to Erica and asked, "What are you trying to say?" Erica didn't even hesitate. She said, "You two own the show. Up when the cameras are rolling. In real life, y'all just as messy as everybody else." You could see Mendeecees try to keep his cool. His jaw clenched a little, but his voice stayed level. "Erica, not tonight," he said. But she wasn't done. She leaned in just a little closer and said, "You act like you some stand-up dude. Handle your own house before you talk about anybody else's." A sharp turn. Mendeecees took a step forward. His hand came up notches. Not like that, but pointing, emphasizing, moving in a way that looked bigger than it was. And that's when Erica reacted. She jumped back like he had really tried something, yelling out, "Don't even try me. I will call the police right now." Loud enough for everybody around to hear. Yandy was in between them in seconds, grabbing Mendeecees by the arm, pulling him back, her voice shaking a little. "Don't do this." But people already had their phones out. There were cameras everywhere. Clips hit Instagram within minutes. People were posting things like, "Did Mendeecees really just lose it?" And Erica playing victim or not?